Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, guys? Excuse me. Hope everyone's having a great day. So we got some pre-draft visits. We got some news on the front of, maybe a player could be returning to the Eagles from last year, and a couple things as well. So the draft's in a couple weeks, guys. I mean, we're getting there. It's the time is starting to, I think the more you think about the draft, the slower the time definitely gets. But we just have to keep ourselves busy and intact with what the Eagles are doing. And, the Eagles have been pretty quiet the past couple weeks. So could be looking for a trade back, a trade up, probably a move before the draft, or maybe trying to acquire a player. Should be really interesting. So let's get straight into the news.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, 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 what's going on, guys? Everyone's on a fantastic day. So, yeah, some news has, we're looking at this roster right now, and, defensive tackle is definitely one that we're either going to add one body to, maybe add a couple more bodies. I would love to add 2 more DTs if they could. But it was interesting enough, Ndamukong Suh was on the Rich Eisen show the other day and just talked about the future of his career, and definitely wants to play next year and looking for a contender probably next year. Probably, would go back to the Eagles if the situation was right. The NFC is going to be a weak conference, and outside maybe the 49ers, the NFC East will probably be the strongest division again. And the NFC East is finally competitive again like it was last year, and I think it will almost be the same this year because the NFC is just nothing's really changed so much. Obviously, with Tom Brady leaving, retiring, and then, Aaron Rodgers might be going to the Jets most likely. So the AFC is definitely a big problem right now. So Sue, talked about Jalen Hurts and, even playing for him. And I understand he's on the defensive side of the ball, but said a lot of really nice things about Jalen Hurts and being so young, so mature, the way this team really fought. Talked about the Super Bowl a little bit, not too much, but a potential return could happen. I don't think this is a signing that's going to happen like right now. I don't think it's going to happen beginning of the season, training camp. I just don't see it. I think he's at the time of his career right now where he's really looking for another ring. He's trying to get his second ring. I think he's been to 3 Super Bowls so far, and I don't mind Sue. I don't think Sue's the same player he used to be, but in a rotation he could definitely help. I don't see why it would be a big problem. I honestly had before Kadavia Street came back, or at least signed with the Eagles as a low risk, high reward signing, even bringing Linval Joseph in. I really didn't even have a I didn't have a problem with bringing Linval in this year if they really want to bring another run stuffer in the building. But, I still think Sue's got some, juice left in the tank, but he might be a guy that's maybe looking to sign middle to late in the season, most likely. I think he'll be a late season signing to go for a run, and he's just going to be ring chasing most likely. But big possibility he could come back. It's just rumor right now, and it's really all up to him at the end of the day. I don't think he wants to go through training camp. I don't think he wants to go through any of that stuff. I think he wants to just wait, and then, got to get a little bit of a paycheck later in the year and see if he wants to play for somebody. So I think he liked it here. I think, especially I liked how, he really defended this team too, and really carries himself well, and even the big fight with the 49ers in that game and him getting into, the face of some people. And, I liked his attitude and I like his play. And I think in a rotation, I think he's great. I think he's a nice depth piece for us if needed. So, we'll see down the road what happens. But, Sue's been thinking about coming back, but I just don't think it's going to be as early as everyone expects it to be, which I don't think so. So NFL pre-draft visits, at least for one, or at least 2 right now, we'll talk about in a workout. We'll go through Dorian, Thompson, Robinson. I'm not really surprised. I mean, maybe a little surprised at this. I mean, they met, the quarterback from UCLA. We definitely met with him, I think, during the combine. The Eagles had a short meeting with him. And Dorian Green-Thompson, obviously not a pure passer, nothing crazy, but is really shifty. I understand why the Eagles want him. The Eagles want him because he's just fast. I mean, he's elusive. He's fast. I mean, might take Lamar Jackson for his money right now. I mean, he's really quick, I gotta say. I mean, a lot faster than Jalen Hurts, definitely. But obviously, like I said, there's his footwork in the pocket. It needs not the craziest arm, but I feel like this might be somebody they want to replace Ian Book with. Now, you did sign Marcus Mariota as the backup quarterback this year. So Ian Book, if they ended up bringing him in, and obviously I think Dorian Thompson-Robinson will only be like maybe a 7th-round pick, a late round pick this year, but maybe could bring a little bit of value, and when Jalen Hurts gets this extension, and you don't want to pay quarterbacks like Marcus Mariota, get those $5 to $10 million contracts for a year, and backup quarterbacks could be very expensive. And over the years, we've spent a lot of money on backup quarterbacks even years ago too. So, you don't want to kind of keep dipping into that every single year. And the Eagles like the quarterback position. They don't care if they already have their starter or even a backup. And if they feel like they want to bring a number 3 in here to compete with Ian Book, and if Dorian Thompson-Robinson will most likely be on practice squad on game day, and that's all he's going to be until maybe he becomes the backup when Marcus Mariota leaves. It could be interesting, but watch his tape. You'll be happy what you see from him, and I'm really glad that they're bringing it. They'll bring in a guy on a pre-draft visit, especially a quarterback that they've been bringing in mostly the same skill set of quarterbacks between Hurts and Mariota. Yeah, somewhat of the same skill set, which Brian Johnson doesn't have to change the offense too much. You saw after the Bears game when Jalen Hurts got hurt and they threw in, they throw in a quarterback into Minshew goes into a Jalen Hurts system, and it was just really ugly. It was really ugly. So I'm glad that they're going this direction with these quarterbacks, somewhat of a running skill set where they can use those read options, those RPOs, and kind of work everything. But I wouldn't mind bringing him in as a 7th-round pick just to see what he could do. And obviously I don't think he's going to be a backup this year. He's not going to be, who knows? He could beat out Ian Book as the 3rd string. You never know what could happen. You only got 2 preseason games this year, so maybe he shows out a little bit more with his run efficiency because, he runs really well. I mean, when it comes to his athleticism, off the charts, really good, and he's real shifty. So I don't mind this at all, down the road if that's what they want to do. If they want to draft him late, I wouldn't be against it. We got some another pre-draft visit as well. Miles Murphy at defensive end from Clemson. And look, between guys like Will McDonald, Tyree Wilson, even Abadore, some of these really good rotational guys, good hands, really good first quick step, explosiveness, great pursuit in the backfield, and just being so disruptive against QBs, which I really do like. And there's a lot of them out there, guys. I'm not big on a defensive end in the first round this year. I'm more on a DT this year, between 10 to 30. It's just me because I feel like you got to get that counterpiece to Jordan Davis. But at the other end of the stick, though, in the second round, who knows if one of these guys, some of these guys are going to drop. The Eagles might even move up in the second round. You never know. The Eagles are at, 63, between 62 to 64. I forgot what pick they have in the second round. So they're not in the best spot in the second round, but some of these guys could slide down, even with Miles Murphy. I think he's got great hands. I think he's one of the best, really good bend around the edge and causes a lot of distractions. So I definitely like him. And like I said, there's a lot of defensive ends. I'm just really not big on a defensive end in the first round this year. I think you'll be able to get a guy in the second round that's really going to do really well. I think someone might drop to the Eagles, or the Eagles might have to move up some spots. Maybe, you never know. The Eagles have picks for 24. They have comp picks. They have 11, 12 draft selections, possibly in an extra second round pick. So you never know what could happen here, or potentially there could be a trade back from 30. So if maybe they want to get an edge rusher, I just don't think they hit on 2 defensive linemen in the first 3 picks. I think they still pick up 2 offensive guys regardless of what's going on. I think an offensive lineman has to be there, and a DT, or I think obviously Bijan is the player that I want in this draft as well. So I think there's a lot of interest there too. So defensive end, I think that's something They're going to get down the road after the first night, pretty much, of the draft, probably second day pick, most likely. And I think one of these guys is going to drop. So, we'll see. I mean, I'm not the only one. I think there's other people that would rather draft an edge rusher. And look, you have Brandon Graham coming off a double-digit sack season. Reddick's coming off double-digit sacks. Josh Sweat had a really good year last year. So, I mean, defensive end's really not as bad as it looks. But like I said, what's going to make the defensive end position work? Obviously, you need some youth there, so I think they'll draft somebody later. But at the same time, you need that counterpiece. Not even just for Jordan Davis, but you need that counterpiece for these defensive ends too, because now offensive lines will have to pick their poison on who they're doubling and who they really have to watch out for. And to get, and obviously another edge rusher would be great, but if you don't have a big talent at defensive tackle, it's going to be a lot easy for teams to double team and not really have to double team on certain guys, and makes it look really easy. So I do like it. I like the visit, and I think they'll have a lot more guys. Surprised some of these other guys on the list haven't been brought in yet, but still we have a couple weeks left. So we'll see what happens with that with the time being. And they bring in a player on a workout. So obviously you have the pre-draft visits, and then there's players out there that come in for workouts, which are two different things. If you guys didn't know, there are two different ways they bring in players. Jason Taylor, the second or third, I think the second or third, Jason Taylor from Oklahoma State, and led the Big 12 with 6 picks and 80 solo tackles. And I'm really glad that they're looking at depth. They're looking at a lot of depth. At safety. They've already hit on that position twice with Terrell Edmonds, and now obviously getting Justin Evans, which he was a former second-round pick in 2017 from the Tampa Bay Bucks, but has been injured almost every single year. So you're bringing some veteran, you're bringing a couple, you're bringing a veteran in the background at safety to can kind of, let Kavon Wallace work for Kavon Wallace, his contract is dwindling down a little bit, and I haven't really been a big Kavon Wallace fan. I think everybody knows that at this point. But I think you're going to get a lot of competition there, and I want more bodies at safety. There's no doubt about it. You know what I mean? You never know what you're going to find here. Reed Blankenship's in the mix now. Terrell Edmonds, I think, is a really good stopgap. A good stopgap player for this team. I think a lot of people are undermining Terrell Edmonds. I mean, he only had 5 picks in 5 years too. But I think with 2 outside corners that are used right, and obviously retaining Bradbury was huge. I think he's going to make a lot more plays this year than anyone expects. I think he's a very high reward at safety right now. Could be as good as Chauncey, or I think he's going to be better, to be honest with you. I think he's going to play a lot better than we realize. Plus, he's played safety for 5 years. He was actually supposed to sign a multi-year extension with the Steelers. The Eagles called, and he backed out of that deal immediately to re-sign or to sign with the Eagles. So bringing in more depth at safety is great. And even some of the guys at cornerback, I really want to see them cross-train some of these guys. Like, I would love to cross-train some of these guys to, Mario Goodrich or Josh Jober. I don't know, maybe not as much Josh Jobe, but at least Mario Goodrich or somebody kind of just cross-train some guys to safety as well. So I'm glad they've already, so if they, they draft this guy or whatnot, wherever he's going to, I don't know where he's going to get drafted. Don't even ask me. But if they add another safety in the mid-rounds, if the Eagles actually get a mid-round pick, because the Eagles have no mid-round picks, no 4th, 5th, or 6th rounders. So be interesting to see. And I think the undrafted rookie pool after the draft, I think they'll grab somebody there at safety as well. They'll add some bodies. There's no doubt about it. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? So the more the merrier at the position. So we will see. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. The draft's in a couple weeks. We're getting prepared for it. I mean, there's going to be more stuff going on with these pre-draft visits and stuff like that. So we'll be really happy to see what happens. Let's just be patient. Howie Roseman's cooking up something right now. We don't know if it's a trade up, trade back. Maybe they're trying to get a player in a trade up or a trade back. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen right now? But I wouldn't be surprised, that a move is made before the draft. But we could be wrong. We could be waiting until draft day, or usually they have things set up before the draft, and then once the draft starts, the moves are going to be made. So, we'll see what happens. If you guys lasted this long in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as well. Check out the Philly Shakedown merch down below. Pre-orders are available. So definitely check that out in the description. So if you guys do appreciate everybody that's been supporting the videos and been commenting and, and talking to me and going back and forth about what we're going to do. So you guys have a fantastic day. We'll see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow us, peace out, guys. Peace.